After the Conservatives vote to keep their leader, the Liberals are saying goodbye to a longtime member of Parliament and former cabinet minister. The Prime Minister has officially appointed former cabinet minister Bill Blair as Canada's next High Commissioner to the United Kingdom. Blair's appointment and resignation as MP means there will be yet another by-election this year. There will also be one in Chrystia Freeland's old riding. And the Prime Minister has appointed longtime public servant Nathalie Drouin as Canada's next ambassador to France and Monaco. Not a bad appointment. Both her appointment and Blair's will take effect this spring. And I don't say that to make light of the United Kingdom appointment, Vandana, but what do you make of this? Bill Blair leaving, I mean, this has been known for months. But, you pick up Michael Ma, you pick up Chris D'Entremont, and suddenly there goes Chrystia Freeland, there goes Bill Blair. The math in Parliament is back to where it was. What do you make of the risks they're taking with two by-elections coming up?
I think it's a risk they're willing to take. I think, Mr. Blair has a lot to offer. I've worked with him quite closely. I think it makes sense that he has an appointment of sort, especially to a close ally of ours in the UK. I think that Prime Minister Carney feels very confident with his chances. I don't think he thinks in terms of, I will move this because I have the best chances now at the election. I think it was just time to move Mr. Blair off and to formally appoint him. Again, as you mentioned, this was something that was known in Ottawa bubble and circles for a while, so it's about time to share that. But I think he feels very confident in terms of how he'll do well on by-elections. I think by-elections do well for the government overall. They with a bit of a year, less than a year in, I think people still feel very strongly about Prime Minister Carney, and with the right candidates, I think he'll have a very successful few by-elections he has. Yeah, Brad, I don't know if anyone's too worried about the Scarborough seat and the University Rosedale seat flipping necessarily on the Liberals with the way things are right now, but there's a lot of days and maybe votes from here to there, right? So now, maybe the new era of Conservative cooperation, as they've described it, means it's not a problem. How do you view it?
Yeah, well, the Levine decision desk has already called those as holds, as we said a few weeks ago, when we were speculating that this day would come. And sure enough, Monday came. And this has been known for a long time. I don't believe that despite, like, when we watched the behavior of the Conservatives in the budget vote behind the curtains, it sent a signal that we can't ignore, and that is they're not hungry for an election right now. Now we've got Poilievre's got his convention behind him and his leadership vote behind him. I just don't think that the New Democratic Party or the Conservative Party want a federal election in the near term. I just don't see it. I think you'll see some strategic absences, some dentist appointments will be had during these motions of confidence, or the curtains could be quite busy again during the next one. I just don't think that the country's in the mood for it. It's only been 10, 11, not even 11 months since the last election, which would remind me that if these Liberals want to recycle themselves through all the the nice cushy jobs, and somebody's got to be in London and somebody's got to be in Paris, so I get it. Could they not do so, further away from an election? We just had the election, and you got to wonder, did Mr. Blair and Ms. Freeland, know that these appointments were coming, ran anyways, and now we're forced into the by-elections? I'll leave that to the viewers to decide, but nonetheless, it'd be nice if we had these appointments kind of in between the cycles instead of triggering these very expensive by-elections so shortly after a general.
Well, look, I think Bill Blair thought he was coming back into cabinet, and they do have to send someone to the UK because Ralph Goodale's done in a couple of weeks. But, the Brad Levine decision test, never wrong, just early, that's the way we like to describe it. But, Kate, what do you make of these moves? I'm with Brad. I think there's too much going on for there to be an election right now, and I'm still not over the last one. But what do you make of these particular moves at this particular time?
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to fill those seats. They're safe seats, very likely.
Yeah.
Toronto voters are going to be busy because I think this is not the end of GTA area MPs pursuing new opportunities. Nathaniel Erskine-Smith. That might actually launch another by-election. Then you couple that with municipal elections in the fall, and things are going to be very busy, at least in the city. So, yeah, I think expected safe holds, but I'm not sure that it's necessarily indicative of whether we will or won't have a spring election. I maintain the view that the Liberals are going to look very prudently or perhaps cravenly at what their chances of electoral success are before totally taking that off the table.
Well, Rob, this is a day where groundhogs predict weather, so we may as well speculate wildly what's going to happen with politicians. What's your sense of this? Because Nate Erskine-Smith, I'd forgotten about that. He's obviously getting ready to run for Bonnie Crombie's old job as Ontario Liberal leader, that's going to be a third seat at minimum, and who knows when the Wilkinson appointment is going to eventually happen. Right?
I mean, we don't even say perhaps Mr. Wilkinson.
No, it's just, we're just waiting for it to go, right?
Speculation.
Yeah.
The thing to look for is what date does Mr. Carney, Prime Minister Carney, decide that he's going to have all of these by-elections? He has up to 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. So does he have a long campaign date, leaving him flexibility to turn these by-elections into part of a general election?
Right.
Does he do that? That might be a hint as to how much flexibility he wants. And as to Brad, I'm surprised that he would forget. I don't forget, as somebody who grew up in that area of Scarborough Southwest, that the NDP won that riding in 2011. Dan Harris, I believe.
Of course.
Dan Harris. There is some hope, I think, for New Democrats in that part of the world. And I remember as a kid, New Democrats being elected provincially there on a regular basis. It's a very kind of blue collar part of Toronto. But the thing to watch is the date. There's going to be a whole bunch of them. Matt Genereux as well. I suspect he'll be part of that wave as well. Those by-elections. Does the Prime Minister give himself the flexibility to turn those into general elections as opposed to by-elections?
So Vanda, just going to give you the last word on this. I think Chrystia Freeland's had 4 resignations in a year, but only once as an MP. Already, Danielle Martin, a pretty well-known Canadian physician and doctor, is the Liberal candidate there. We don't know what's going to happen with Bill Blair, Nate Erskine-Smith, Matt Genereux, and a cast of thousands potentially to follow. Do you think the Prime Minister waits a long time, does them all at once, or staggers them out a little bit? How do you think it goes?
I think he does it all at once. I don't think it'll be too long a time. I think he knows that the air can shift, and I don't think he takes his popularity for granted. So I think the longer out, you can't predict what's going to happen in 6 months. So why not get them done sooner than later? I definitely think they're not looking at a general election right now. I don't think the Prime Minister wants to do that. I think he's focused on CUSMA negotiations. I think he's focused on governing. I think he enjoys governing, not that he didn't enjoy campaigning, but I think he really enjoys just getting it done. And I don't think he feels that he would have the correct argument to argue for an election. I don't think he'll take that for granted. So I think it'll be sooner than we think, and I think it'll happen all at once.
All right, there you go, Brad. Get that decision desk machinery fired up, buddy, because it's coming soon.
You got it.
All right, we're out of time, and Brad's run out of time because we're going to have those by-elections. Vanda Decotter, Brad Levine, Rob Russo, and Kate Harrison, thank you so much.